High school sports, we've got it covered. Overtime starts now.
It sure does. Hello again. Welcome to Overtime. I'm Scott Leber.
And I'm David Greenberg. This is your spot for all things high school basketball. Tonight we'll get to know Boylan girls head coach Paul Peroni a little bit better. He recently won his 500th game.
Yeah, kind of a big deal. And I'll spotlight how basketball has been a huge part of the father-daughter relationship for one duo at Pecatonica.
Let's dive in with some of tonight's action. The Rockford Lutheran Crusaders lost some key players from their undefeated team last season, but they just keep chugging along. The Big Northern Conference winning streak stood at 29 games going into tonight.
Bago was hoping to end that streak. They played at Lutheran. The Crusaders beat Bago in a close game, 58-54, back in early December. Walter Hill Jr. had himself a night. The Crusaders point guard showed some great handles to get to the basket. How sweet was that? Ray Marici was big for Bago. He sinks the shot. Marici scored 29 points. Fontes Dento slipped free inside. Lutheran had a double-digit lead in the second half, but could not shake Bago. Watch Michael Cunningham take the back door, and he makes himself right at home for that lay-in. Carl Furch says, I'll take the front door, and I'll take 3 points, please. Hill, though, comes right back. He'll pull up this time and hit it. And Garrett Bertrand on the fast break goes in for 2 of his 17 points. He had a great game. Hill, though, going to come up here with a loose ball. It's the Bago turnover. Hill's got it, goes straight to the basket, and one. Hill scored 28 points. The Crusaders held off Bago 71-68. It's the Crusaders' 30th consecutive Big Northern Conference victory. It's never easy when you play these guys, right? It seemed like every time you guys built up a little lead, they fought right back on you.
I mean, they're a hard-working team, and it's a rivalry game for the conference. And, you know, those games are never going to be easy, and we knew that coming in. And Coach just told us that we're going to have to fight all game, and that's what we did.
I was really determined to be aggressive. I mean, I haven't been playing good in the past few games. So, I mean, this one, I really needed it. So that's what Coach was telling us, be aggressive from out the gate. So that's what we did.
Our next Big Northern game takes us to Rockford Christian. The Royal Lions hosted DIXON. It's helmet night there, it looks like. Sky Garral finds Lucas Healy, pump fake, crossover, and a nice teardrop for the Dukes. Royal Lions now. Ike Johnson getting quadruple teamed in the paint. He's going to kick it out to the open man, Christian Cummings, for the tray. Now it's his brother Kavion Cummings off the inbound, finds his brother Christian, the dribble, the and one for the Royal Lions, and then it's Garral driving baseline, kicks it out, and it's Garral going to hit the jumper for DIXON. Ike Johnson here going to take the pass, drives down for the baseline and gets the floater. Rockford Christian defeated DIXON 71-62. Also in the Big Northern Conference, Stillman Valley beat Rock Falls 58-50. And North Boone defeated Oregon 66-51. On to the Nick 10, and the conference championship is really Auburn's to lose at this point.
Yeah, the Knights took a major step toward that championship Wednesday night. Let's go back to that before we move into tonight's action. The Knights took on Guilford Wednesday, and with 3 seconds to play and the game tied, Robert Cheney pulled up from 16 feet and knocked down that jumper. That gave Auburn the lead by 2 points. Now, the Vikings called timeout. They inbounded from the far end of the court. Bryson Hodge got the ball, got knocked down and fouled. That stopped the clock with 1.3 seconds left. Now, Guilford wasn't in the bonus yet. No free throws. The Vikings, again, would inbound in front of their bench. Hodge got it, quickly heaved up a shot, but it was just a bit off the mark. And with that, Auburn had a 52-50 win. That gave the Knights a 3-game lead in the Nick 10 with 5 conference games remaining.
Well, now for tonight's Nick 10 action, to see if Guilford could bounce back from that loss to Auburn. The Vikings were at Hononegah. The Indians had Brandon Beck back at healthy in the lineup, which makes him very dangerous. And you see why there, his length and ability to finish around the rim. At the half, Hononegah led 35-24, but in the second half, the Vikings relied on that 3-ball in big moments. This one here from Brendan Gray is up and good, and another. He had 11 big points tonight. But Owen Hart really showed his toughness down the stretch. He was playing through an injury. He gets the and one to go. Guilford had cut the lead to 7. They swing it around, but a 3 here from Malachi Johnson shrinks it to 4. He had 23 points tonight. Big night for him. And Samaj Smith did it all. He gets this play started. Work it to Gray again. All of a sudden, it's a 1-point game. Late in the fourth now, Makai Dolby, he's thinking about it. He pulls up, and it's another 3 for the Vikings to tie the game. Let's go to overtime where Guilford jumped out to a 6-point lead, but Cole Warren, the heart in the corner, that cuts the lead in half as he limps off. So tough tonight. He finished with 18 points. Guilford opened the lead back up to 7 with free throws, but then they make a huge mistake here. They foul Beck on a 3-pointer. He makes it a 4-point play. Lead is back down to 3, but this time their defense would get the stop they need. Samaj Smith gets fouled off the rebound. 9 of his 23 points came from the free throw line tonight as Guilford comes back to hang on and win it in overtime, 79-67.
I have a word saying that I tell the guy, iron sharpens iron. And we've been there before, so the iron that sharpened us has got us to a point to where there's no minute in the game where we feel like we can't come back and get a chance of winning the game.
We stayed together and we pushed through the whole game. We knew we was going to win. We wasn't worried about the deficit. We was more worried about the mental issues and the mental lapses in our game. And once we figured that out, it was easy. We was able to capitalize and win.
My teammates hit. I drove, I hit them, and they made shots. I love those guys. That's pretty much it.
Elsewhere, East headed to Belvidere. This was the ERAB's third conference game in 3 nights because of a makeup game played last night against Freeport. First quarter, Ryan Larson inside to Latrell Kyles, who cashes in. Next possession, East will go around the horn with it until Nishan Hardaway is found inside. He delivers the 2-ball. The Bucks would try to respond. Justin Dennis, little handoff to Attilo Gotson, who waits. Spin move, he is inside and he'll put it home. Bucks again. Dennis is going to get it, and he'll do it himself this time. Another spin move, and the hoop goes. East Matthew Hoare trying to cut inside, but loses the handle. Back come the Bucks. Jason Dean, the bounce to Jace Diskin, who gets it to go. Belvidere trying to get some more up on the ERABs. This time, though, they turn it over. Jameer Jefferson going to find Hardaway inside to tie it up again with the lay-in. The ERABs would go on to beat the Bucks, though, big, 53-37.
At Belvidere North, the Blue Thunder hosted Boylan tonight. Big crowd at North. We'll take you to the second quarter here. Blue Thunder, Jacob Booker cuts in, finds Nick Winters open, and he drains it. Blue Thunder led 21-12. Boylan's going to answer, though. Nifty passing play, gets Joey Apino open, and he drills a 3. That's how the half would end. 21-15, the Blue Thunder were on top. After halftime, though, some adjustments made. Boylan came out flying. Tyler Hood spinning, finds Apino outside again, and he drops it in again. North ball. Ethan Andre chucks it up, no good, but Evan Horgan outside for a 3 of his own. Stick with the Blue Thunder. Joseph Brown to the net, knocks it tight and down, and Adam Brown is there to finish. Boylan ball. Nolan Bronze fights to the hoop, puts it up, gets fouled, and in for the and 1. North trying to respond again to a wide open Ethan Andre for 3. It's good. It was 31-26 North towards the end of the third. The Blue Thunder pull off a big win. They edge the Titans 52-50. Also in the Nick 10, Auburn won at Freeport 72-51. Harlem edged Jefferson 53-50.
The updated Nick 10 standings look like this on the top half. Auburn leads at 14-0. The Knights have a 3-game cushion with 4 conference games remaining. Guilford and East tied for second at 11-3. Boylan now 9-4, and Hononegah is 8-6.
Well, we got some tight ones in that conference. Keep the channel, though, where it's at, because we're just getting started. Coming up later, some girls Nick 10 highlights.
And our spotlight story on Pecatonica girls coach Tim Bukowski and his daughter Paige. But up next, he is the longest tenured girls coach in the Nick 10. We'll get to know Boylan's Paul Peroni. You're watching Overtime. Last Friday, Boylan girls basketball coach Paul Peroni picked up his 500th career coaching win. He's in the top 30 in Illinois history in wins for a girls coach. He's seen a lot, been through the highs and the lows. Thought it would be a good time to take a couple minutes to tap into his experience and get to know him a little bit better. Here's an interview I did with Peroni earlier in the week. Paul, 500 wins. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
So that's a lot of wins, and that's a long time coaching. You coached a long time at Harlem, now a long time here. When you first got into coaching, did you think you would stick at it long enough to win 500 games.
Never thought I'd be able to stay in this profession for 30 years as a varsity coach, but about 45 overall, because I did a lot at the freshman level with boys and assistant sophomore at Harlem and in 8th grade. So it's been a long haul. So to get 500, you got to have, first of all, you got to have great players. You can't kid anybody. You got to have the horses, and then there's got to be longevity. And I would say the last thing beyond longevity is resiliency, because coaches at every level, from T-ball to high school, are always criticized. And if you can't take the criticism over the years, you'll never survive in this. Even though it's hard for coaches, you'll never survive. So those three things. But I think the key is great kids and great players.
I don't know if people are aware of this, how many people are, but you graduated from here in 1968. You played basketball here. What type of player was Paul Peroni? Huh?
Slow. Back in the, well, really I played as a sophomore on a varsity team in 1965. There was no three-point line. You wore the Chuck Taylor tennis shoes, so they didn't have the bounce. And if you threw a cross-court pass, you were coming out of the game, because that was a no-no. So basically, outside shooter at Boylan.
Your name was in the record books, though, for a while anyway, right?
About 1 year. Then a gentleman scored 38. So I didn't even get a chance to enjoy it that much.
So you scored 37 in a game. That was the record at the time.
Right, against Rockford East.
All right.
I remember it.
Your coach back then was Vince McGuire. I see him here at games, boys and girls, all the time. Right. What's it like for you now, during one of your games, when maybe you glance over to where he's sitting and you see him there and know that he's there rooting you on? And he was here the other night to congratulate you too.
Yeah.
Well, what's that mean to you to see Mr. McGuire here?
Oh, it's really nice, and to have your former coach come here to help celebrate. And it was a different era back then. You know, coaches, I think, were a little bit tougher. Now today, you can't do a lot of the same things with the players as you could do back in the 60s. You get yourself in trouble. He was a tough coach, but we had a lot of respect for him. And to know that he has enough respect for me to come and support me for that 500 really meant a lot. Right in here. Don't force it.
Every coach wants to win, but I think the bigger goal of every coach is to just get the most out of each player and their ability that you can. What's kind of your approach to getting the most out of your players?
You know, when I started coaching, winning was the most important thing for me as a young coach. And as I matured myself over the years, I realized that, you know, winning isn't everything. It's coming here, having fun, helping the young kids, and to motivate them, and especially working in health education, seeing the problems with drugs and all that type of stuff, knowing that basketball is temporary, but there's many things in life. So I try to help the kids become great athletes, treat them with respect, but also help them along the way to realize that they have to make wise decisions, because they won't remember if they won or lost Saturday and a year from now, but they'll remember what kind of person they are.
And that leads me into my next question. One reason I respect you so much is because you've headed up the Red Ribbon campaign here locally for years and years now, which for people who aren't aware of what that is, you're asking young people to commit to a healthy lifestyle, healthy choices, live drug-free. So again, you have a real heart for young people, don't you?
I really do. And this team here, I love these kids. They're so great. At 72, sometimes I think about retiring, but then I wonder, you know, what I would do. But as long as I feel I have something to give the kids, I'll try to keep coaching, even though my family sometimes wants me to retire so I can get down to Nashville. But I really think I have something to offer. And when I don't have something to offer, then it's time to get out. But I'm trying to teach the kids how to stand up for their values, how to be respectful, good work ethic, all those things that are going to make them great, productive citizens later on in life. I just hope I can get people to realize, look at your coach as a person. What is he offering other than did he win or lose?
A lot of coaches would say amen to that statement.
Yeah, coaches are people too, and as he said, 72 years young, still enjoying what he's doing.
Yeah, and as great as a coach as he is, he's an even better person. So that says a lot about Paul Peroni.
Absolutely.
Hey, we're back to the highlights next. We're going to see how Peroni's Lady Titans did tonight, plus Hononegah's girls had a big showdown with Guilford.
Welcome back to Overtime. Let's get right into some Nick 10 girls highlights.
Tonight, Hononegah had another big game at Guilford. The Vikings came in with a record of 12-4 in the conference, and with 18 wins overall, they are having a great season. Hononegah on the inbound, Cameron Abney makes the hard cut and scores. Geneva Han in the lane. We'll get a special delivery inside on the feed from Abney. The Vikings have Sydney Donaldson camped out in the corner. She is on target with that three. Indians strike right back, though. The long lead pass goes to Ember Gunnick. The Lady Vikings, they were battling in this game. Denia Gary cashes in from the arc. The Indians would answer on another good cut here by Abney, who gets the hoop and one. This one went down to the final buzzer. Carly LeMay hit a half-court shot for Hononegah to give the Indians a 55-54 win and keep the Indians undefeated in the conference.
Boylan was trying to rebound from that loss at Hononegah Tuesday. The Lady Titans hosted Belvedere North. North came out of the gate strong. Carly Fridley picks up the loose ball, takes the length of the floor, and lays it in for two. And Crystal Sotelo fires a cross-court pass to Grace Holstead, who spots up and drains the three ball. Now for Boylan, Olivia Harder drives. Layup is no good, but Lily Esparza is there for the putback and the points. And this time, Harder not going to miss this one. Great crossover leads to a wide open layup off the glass. At the other end, Fridley, she fires up a three and drains it. The Blue Thunder had Boylan on the ropes early. Here's Esparza grabbing it, turns around, connects from about 12 feet. This one went down to the wire as well. The Lady Titans hold on for the 41-40 win. Also in girls Nick 10 action, Harlem beat Jefferson 69-53 and Auburn blasted Freeport 75-16. Let's take another break. Our play of the day is coming up in a bit.
But when we return, it's our Spotlight segment, a local father and daughter who share a passion for basketball. Coaches know with their busy schedules how hard it can be to find time to spend with their own children. One local coach has found a way to make that work for himself and one of his children. That's tonight's Overtime Spotlight story. Tim Bukowski is currently the varsity girls head basketball coach at Pecatonica. During his 22-year coaching career, he's also coached teams at Byron, Stillman Valley, Hononegah, Belvedere, and Forston. And most of the time right there at his side has been his daughter Paige, keeping stats. She knew at a young age she wanted to be more involved in her dad's games than simply sitting in the stands.
She did bug me about doing something on the bench because she just didn't like sitting there. She wanted to do something. I mean, you're 6 years old. What are you going to do? I said, okay, if you want to keep stats, you gotta make a resume, and I gotta have you get an interview because this is the job.
So I gave him a loose leaf piece of paper with whatever I thought a resume included when I was 5. I didn't really know, and he still has it with him.
She was hired. Her first job was keeping track of shots made. It's hard to imagine a 5 or 6-year-old maintaining her focus on the games to keep accurate stats, but she did it.
I remember my dad telling me when I did it the first time, he double-checked to make sure it was actually right, and he said it was right on. So I guess after the first couple of games, he just stopped doing it himself.
Each year, Paige added more stats to keep: rebounds, assists, turnovers. By 7th grade, Paige was keeping pretty much all the stats.
First couple of games, I had to look back at the stats and go, is this right going on? And I went back and it's like, these are dead on. I have a 6th or 7th grader doing full stats next to me in a game, still paying attention, still giving high fives, still listening to me complain, and doing everything through there. So she just had a knack for that.
Are you a numbers person, or do you like math? Are you good at math?
Yeah, math is definitely my strong suit.
Some of the best learning moments for Paige came on the car rides home from games with her dad.
She heard me complain about a lot of different things. She talked about different things, and I was teaching moments going through there, and she just absorbed it like a sponge.
Paige played basketball at Byron until she graduated last year. She's technically a team assistant for Pecatonica. She does have other responsibilities besides keeping stats.
She comes in and runs drills. She scrimmages once in a while with us. She gives me advice on the bench. She watches film and talks about what we need to do.
I do a lot of one-on-ones with the girls. Like Elena Rager, I'm with her a lot, helping her because she's a freshman. Stepping into a varsity as a freshman is really hard. So I give her a lot of pointers.
And she brings a different perspective and a different voice to the bench.
I look to her upon for advice because I'm a male in a female-dominated world in terms of that. And my communication skills with people is a little bit different. I'm a little harsher when it comes things out, but I say the things I want to say, but they come out a little harsher. She's there to help me bring it back in, communicate to the girls for me what I'm trying to say to help make me a better coach and help them out much better too.
Good tip. Olena out.
It's been a joy for Paige and Tim to spend these basketball moments together.
Being a coach, you spend a lot of time away from your family. And I had a son that was older, and I missed out on a lot of his activities because I was spending all my time with the coaching.
There's been so many games and so many specific times in games that we've had such good memories, and there's stuff that I'll remember forever. Like I still remember sitting on the bench like when I was like 6, and stuff that he would say to me or just what I did. I don't know, it's something special that not a lot of teenagers or girls can go through with their dad as a coach.
Paige is taking classes now to become a nurse, but she hopes to still find time to be a coach in the future.
Yeah, 5 years old and keeping stats. That's pretty amazing.
Yeah, it is. We'll be right back after this final break. We wrap up this episode of Overtime with our play of the week.
It's the best play caught on our cameras going back to Hononegah. The Indians fell to Guilford, but they have a special player in Brandon Beck. He gets fouled on this three-pointer here, still gets it to go for the 4-point play. He'll probably be upset with the loss, but a great performance. 26 points and tonight's play of the week.
Nifty between the legs pass there by Owen Hart, too. A reminder, catch Overtime right here every Friday night through the end of the season, live at 11 p.m. on Fox 39. We also rebroadcast each show Sunday morning at 9 on Fox 39.
And remember, for highlights and scores anytime, you can go to our website, mystateline.com. That's it for this show. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next Friday.
Enjoy your weekend.